But reputation, that's on the people to judge me.
You
I
don't,
just
there's
like being
nothing
me.
that you, okay, well, so what does that entail then?
Being myself?
Yeah.
Just being a confident, cool, collective guy, and just about my business.
Maybe LeJounte's got a little bit of that in him. Same 40 time. I believe same height. Antonio Brown's 5'10 as well. And the shakiness LeJounte does, the willingness for him to do the dirty work that LeJounte does. I think LeJounte Wester is the most secure pro. Sadly, the NFL Combine has come to an end. It's all wrapped up on this beautiful Monday, and I'm hoping you're having a great day. But I think a group of people who really stood out that I don't think a lot of people thought would stand out is them goddamn Colorado Buffaloes. Dion Sanders made a few promises, a few proclamations, and really laid out the way that certain individuals could make it to the next league. Also, the fact that Jimmy Horn, LeJounte Wester, and even Shador Sanders, you could argue, had decent days at the Combine. So we're going to take a little deeper dive at it. We're going to listen to the best of from the interviews in the draft, and then we're going to look at some more, some smaller films and those highlights of what they did, 40-yard times. And of course, the biggest thing is we're going to get speculating. I really appreciate the support of these last few videos. I appreciate the support of the Combine videos. Man, if you enjoy college football content in general, we do Combine stuff, we do news updates. Our biggest bread and butter, though, is NIL and transfer portal stories. So if you enjoy that, you want to hear the craziness about that, man, subscribe and we'll get you locked in. Let's start at the top with Mr. Shador Sanders. We're going to hear a combination of things. Like I said, I got some new stuff for you. These are some new interviews that we haven't either listened to or some more behind the scenes type things, as well as some comments that came about after Shador's performance, man. So we're going to hop right into it. Here we go.
Shador Sanders, when he walked up to our platform to do the interview, he hugged our cameraman. He hugged one of our producers, two of our producers. I had just met him. That was the first time I was meeting him. Just for a little picture in what this guy is like. I think sometimes you don't see that full picture.
But reputation, that's on the people to judge me.
You don't, there's
like
nothing
being
that you, okay, well, so what does that entail then?
Being myself?
Yeah.
Just being a confident, cool, collective guy, and just about my business.
All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
No, but it is on Shador Sanders. I want to walk you through an interesting situation for me as it pertains to Shador Sanders. Talking about this is not a kid who grew up like a lot of the other kids. He has been around cameras his whole life. He has been in the spotlight his whole life. He is just different and does seem to be ready for all this. Let me explain what I'm talking about. I reached out to someone close to Shedeur, close to Dion Sanders, about a week or so before the Combine, trying to see whether or not he was going to throw. I get a message. Coach is going to hit you directly. Okay. I get a FaceTime. It's Dion Sanders. I'm driving in the car with my boys. Dion Sanders FaceTimes. And I say, oh, I'm trying to figure out what Shedeur going to do for the Combine. He goes, hold on one second. Let me get him. Put Shedeur on the phone, explains the whole thing to me, break down his goals, his plans for the Combine, why he's not going to throw, what he's going to do at Pro Day, and sounded like a 30-year-old. That's the kind of conversation, interaction you rarely have, and to me, one reason why he seems ready for this.
And I really appreciate, Rappaport. Obviously, after his brawl in Starbucks, if y'all want a video on that, y'all let me know. But after surviving that brawl in Starbucks, I appreciate Ian for saying those nice words. And that was another ESPN correspondent that started there. And then Mrs. Karita Parks, who got this little interview. And I think because there's going to be people, Coach JB, who are going to yell and scream that, hey, Shador Sanders, draft stock plummeted because Will Howard had a good day. Jackson Dart, XYZ. Jalen Milroe spun the ball. Like, I just don't want to hear that because it's just lies. Because the biggest takeaway every single time somebody hears Shador Sanders talk is that they're always like, oh, you're a normal person. Oh, you're a down-to-earth, polished guy. Oh, you grew up with an NFL Hall of Famer, so you might know how to handle media in the spotlight, and you might be pretty well adjusted to this, as well as being well-mannered. There's yes ma'ams in there, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, come on. Dion's from the South now. It's Florida. I know we don't consider Florida the South, but it's still yes ma'am, no ma'am. So, and obviously he grew up in Texas too, so that helps. But no, man, the genuineness, necessity-isms, the this, the that, the everybody just coming away saying, oh, wow, like, this is a guy who's going about his business and handles his business. Like, football is his job, and he was born to do it. You know what I mean? Like, he might not be elite. He might not be a Hall of Famer in the NFL, but I guarantee he's going to make an impact. He's already made an impact on football. So, Hey man, shout out to Shedeur. I think a lot of people seeing that humility side is what people weren't expecting, especially this GM. So it's good to hear that. Here are a few more just good stuff. We got Travis, we got Shedeur, and then we got one more from Jimmy Horn. Let's go right into it.
Because I've done it at 2 locations already, so it's simple. So that's why when people say I'm not, one of the top quarterbacks or the top quarterback, is what are y'all going based off of? Because I did it year after year after year, and you see the progression. So it's like, obviously, it got to be some type of external hate that you have for the family, for the last name, for anything, because I know I proved myself on the field. It's extremely important to keep your mental in the best place, because that's what my game is played. My game's not played from my legs and not even just my arm. So I know longevity, the all-time greats, what's Tom Brady best trait? His mental. He's able to think. So if you have those traits of greatness and I know where I'm heading, then why wouldn't the franchise pick me? You got the ultimate cheat code. Fantasize throwing to Travis Hunter, LeJohntay Wester, Will Shepard, and Jimmy Horn.
What about?
I'm gonna play both. That's not my job to figure it out. I like to play both sides of the ball. If they give me the opportunity to play both sides of the ball, I'll play both sides.
What do you think your play style is most like?
In the NFL, I got my own unique play style. I play both sides of the ball. Not that many people in the NFL have done it.
365 days in the year, don't trip by one. That's something I live by, and I'm pretty sure Shedeur think like that too. It's real important, it's a lot of ups and downs that come with the game. People love you, people hate you, and it's just how you feel about yourself. Can't nobody tell you about yourself more than you know yourself.
And I love that, man. I think Jimmy Horn, I think Travis, I think Shedeur have all been quite well equipped for what they got going on. And I think one of the bigger things that you see from that is a video that we're going to get to is Shedeur out there just supporting his teammates and making sure the 40 times are getting ran. So break into videos, because then we're going to go into some Dion Sanders videos. Let's talk about some rumors. Let's talk about some vidges. Let's talk about some nitties and some gritties, man. So sources, Mr. Jordan Soul says, the Titans will host Colorado quarterback Shador Sanders and Miami cornerback Cam Ward this week in their facility. Tennessee holds the #1 overall pick this year in the NFL draft, are undergoing a thorough evaluation process. So these two quarterbacks who have been, almost conjoined at the hip since the beginning of the summer because they have the same quarterback coach. It's continued. This friendly rivalry is going to continue, and so much so that they're going to be on the same, campus. Is it considered a campus? Whatever. They're going to be at the same place at the same time. Gosh darn it, in the same week, interviewing with Titans. I don't think Shedeur is going to be a Titan. I don't think Shedeur. It's more of a fit thing and what they want, right? The Titans need like a complete facelift, right? But a team like the Browns, they got some bits that they can, they can make something happen. They can, they're not in full rebuild mode. They just have a terrible quarterback. You know what I mean? Like if they can find a way to convince Myles Garrett not to jump ship. You know what I'm saying? Like these are just the Giants. The Giants have a nice roster of some young pieces. It's explosive. Like it's just when we talk about the upsides and stuff. If you want someone generational, it's going to take some time to build. And not to say that Shedeur isn't generational. I think it makes more sense with Cam Ward just because the upside. Give him more time and do that. But it's cool to see that they're both going to get the invite to Titans. And then Shedeur, a little just thinking about there. He's just kind of commenting about him being there supporting Jimmy Horn, LeJohntay Wester. He said it's about the family. We have to support and be there for each other. When Jimmy and LeJohntay, came to Colorado, they were there for me. So I have to support them through it all, man. They really they found some real deal lifelong family. And that's what football's about. It's about finding these lifelong connections and really what's it called? And here's Jimmy Horn Quinn to Jimmy Horn. Lifelong connections and being able to push those to the next level and to support your guys and to, it's not just some fake thing that we said on a pregame speech. It's something that they meant. You know what I mean? Shout out to Jimmy Horn. Great stats here as well. Here is Shedeur actually getting it done here. What's it called? Not getting it done, but, dapping up my man. I think that's LeJohntay, I believe. I believe that's LeJohntay. Yeah, I think that's LeJohntay. But you see him out there dapping the people up, dapping the folks up. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of LeJohntay Hunter, LeJounte Wester, who LeJounte and Jimmy Horn both run at the same time, 4.46. Not blazing, but fast enough to make it to the NFL. I think they can both do better at the pro day. But more importantly, you got to remember LeJounte running as fast as Jimmy is really good for LeJounte because he's 5'10". He measured in at 5'10". That's not a bad height. And now Antonio Brown comparisons are coming up. And now that you say that, and I know Goose is a notorious Colorado Glazer, but there's nothing wrong with that. Glaze the team that you support, man. But I mean, maybe a downgraded version of Antonio Brown. Look, Antonio Brown came from a small school. He came from Central Michigan. Like, so maybe LeJounte's got a little bit of that in him. Same 40 time. I believe same height. Antonio Brown's 5'10" as well. And the shakiness LeJounte does, the willingness for him to do the dirty work that LeJounte does. I think LeJounte Wester is probably out of this wide receiver group the most secure pro, right? I don't know. Like Jimmy Horn, I think has the highest ceiling. Maybe even Will Shepherd. I think Will Shepherd has a crazy ceiling too. But I think the highest floor guy has to be out of the wide receiver group has to be LeJounte because I just think he's gonna come in and like he said that other quote, you don't gotta be that guy to be that guy. I love that. I wish I would put that in here, but I don't want to rewatch too many videos. But that's good stuff. Comparisons to Antonio Brown, not a bad person to get compared to. And just to kind of put a not an end, but to put a bow on specifically the combine stuff. I want y'all to remember, and I tell y'all this every single video. And first off, I appreciate y'all supporting these videos, these combine videos, hanging out with me. But you're gonna get tired of me saying this because I'm gonna keep saying this into the draft in April. Everything you see or hear is a lie, and this is a video that shows it. Hey, there they are. Jackson Dart, Shador Sanders, Cam Ward, these quarterbacks who are supposed to be almost against each other that should be out there next to who should have that amazing competitive spirit to just be like, nah, y'all. They doing that. And the video I didn't show, you had Cam Warren, who obviously didn't throw, for the drills. He was helping a wide receiver, just throwing balls to him. Hey, let me get some catches in. Like, dog, I think Shador Sanders and Cam Ward, because I don't think Cam Ward is good with media, but Shador Sanders knows what he's doing, and he's doing it to a T, and a great job. And he's showing, look, man, I'm not just some dude. I'm not just some guy that could throw a football. I'm a leader, dog. I've got the intangibles, and it goes bigger. It's bigger than that. It's not just when we're playing together. Nah, man, it's that combine. That's why I'm here. I'm supporting my people. So I like to see that. I like to hear that. But now let's go down memory lane here. And I want to go specifically to the first interview or the first time Dion Sanders got on campus because he alludes to what it takes to get to that next level. We're not going to be here too long. I just think it's interesting to see the perspective of sending people to the league and to the next level and what it takes and then kind of what that evolved to. So I'm going to shut up for a second.
Still playing football, and we ain't having a darn meeting. So obviously there's a problem, right? I'm gonna fix it. So if they ask you what he said in the meeting, what went down, I want you to say the 2 words. Flat out, he just said I'm coming. And everybody know what that means when that comes. Not only am I gonna show up, but I'm gonna show out. Now, I'm through with mine. Let's get to yours. I'm here on the spot for any questions. Yeah, quarterback is coming. Yep, about 10 more of them coming. And they dogs. And they gonna hunt and they gonna eat. Anything else? This is your opportunity. Don't get outside and start talking when you got me right in front of you. Let's get it over with now. Anything you want to say? It could be a question, it could be anything. Yes, sir.
What position coaches are you keeping?
What position coaches am I keeping? Probably not.
Bringing.
Right? It's going to be one of the best staffs you ever seen in summer. They coming. Best recruiting staff you ever seen in summer. They coming. A bunch of go-getters coming. I just met with several to 10 powerful boosters that's ready to give. But I told them I want these kids focused on the NFL, not the NIL. But guess what they told me? They coming. Good question.
There you go. He alludes to it, and sorry that I don't know how nobody laughed in that video. I'm sorry, that's crazy. Never mind. I'm gonna be what's it called? Mature. But yeah, there he is alluding to it very early on. Just kind of laying out there like, hey man, this is NFL. That was the first thing, and he's talking about NFL, and here he is I believe
son, Junior.
this is the middle of the year in 2023. He alludes again about what it takes to be NFL, the small details it takes to get to the next level.
You kicking butt? We're going to say, yeah, he gets his number at the end of the week. So when he come back to practice on that Monday after the break, when we come back after spring break, he's going to have his number. We good? Sure. Everything you do around here will be earned. We ain't giving you nothing. So you got to go get it, and you got to take it. We understand that? Yes, sir. Okay, academics. Some of y'all think it's a game. 95% of this locker room is not going pro. I hate to say it, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't sugarcoat nothing. You got to get your academics. You got to get a degree. You got to get masters. You got whatever you're trying to attain, you got to go get it. And it's not a game to me. So if you sit up here with 3 Fs or 4 Fs, how in the world are we going to trust you? Coach Mathis, in your history of coaching, do you trust a guy with 3 or 4 Fs? Anybody else? Coach?
No, sir.
Any coach? You trust a guy?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
We're not going to trust you. And you're not going to be able to practice. So what we're going to do, if you got 3 or 4 Fs, what we're going to do is send you to academics, let you focus on that, and you lose your reps on this, so somebody have an opportunity to take your job and take your number. We got that. Sir. Academics are real. Your education is real. You got to get something when you leave here. You're going to get NFL or a degree. I want you to get both. I truly do. I want you to get both, because you're going to be somebody. You're going to be something, and you're going to make it happen for you. You got to get your books and stop underestimating the power of that. We understand that? Yes, sir. If you have more problems than the math book, we're done. Everybody got problems, everybody got trials, everybody got tribulations. But if it's one after the other, and your problems are outweighing your performance, you got to go. We got that. Sure. Problems outweighing performance.
And again, these are just small allusions to, getting to the NFL. And, it's good to see in that locker room, obviously not exactly in the locker room because they had to transfer in LeJounte and Jimmy. Within that locker room are going to be, obviously Shedeur is right there, going to be some NFL players. But I think bigger than that, right, and what this channel is really about and what it started off is just kind of talking about Dion Sanders and the impact that he can have, especially on the game. And it's a leader of men, right? It's a leader of men when you talk about the prioritization of academics, the prioritization of being somebody, being an actual man. We can sit here and tear up Dion Sanders' questionable game time decisions and timeout performance and clock management when it comes to certain times, but you can't sit here and look him in the face and say he's not someone that you don't want to be coached by. Here's Coach Prime, way throwback, Jackson State, consoling one of his guys after he dropped a game-tying touchdown.
Ain't on you. It's on us. We lost together. Do you understand that? All right, man. Come on. You're up. I need you to fight. This is going to be adversity. This is going to prepare you for life. All right? All right? Let's fight through it. Good man. You got to believe that. That moment is going to make you who you want to be for the rest of your life. You feel me? Let's do it. Come on, man.
Now, I would recommend not recording a dude while he's crying, but Bucky will record every. Hey, Bucky will record every. Hey, man, they could have been invited to the Secret Service meeting, and Bucky would have been there, just filming. But no, in all seriousness, right? Like, these are the small, intricate details that allow a Shador Sanders to look that good in front of the camera, to allow Jimmy Horn to come out of this show, to allow certain people to be in certain positions. And now Dion Sanders is sending not just Xavier Weaver, but it seems like a new gaggle, a new group, a new formation of NFL players that he, at least foresaw, at least seen it. He at least knew 5% of them were going to the league, and it looks like at least 5% of them made it. Just congratulations to this young man, because I think the biggest takeaway from this combine from Colorado, right, is because, everything's recruiting. You have to understand recruiting is a constant thing. So as a recruit, as someone who has aspirations of going to the NFL, well, now Colorado is an option. Okay. NFL head coach, first round a wide receiver slash DB slash whatever you want, right? A few other receivers that might get drafted maybe day 3, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? That's big. Great performances from the combine. Everybody's singing their praises. Like, prospects look at that, especially the prospects whose eyes are on the prize of getting to the NFL. I think this really makes things that much easier for Dion Sanders. The more the numbers increase with combines and Senior Bowls and all these other great things, just showing Colorado players since Dion Sanders has taken over and taken the reins, be in a lot of better positions is going to make people be like, hey, man, I think Dion Sanders knows what he's talking about. I think he's doing it right, man. But, hey, I really appreciate y'all watching. Like I said, appreciate the support for the draft combine, the combine videos. Got some more winners and losers videos. Got a Quinn Ewers video, and then we'll probably be back to regular scheduled programming. You know, NIL stories, transfer portal stories. Transfer portal is about to be nasty. It's about to be real crazy. It's already too crazy. But man, I really appreciate y'all. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you want to keep in contact, man. And hey, you're great. You know that, right? I already knew you were great, and you knew you were great. But you be great. And have a day as great as you are, man. Peace.